This is the download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, March 19th. First up, the Stream 2025 Audience Insights Shaping Streaming. A new report from Tubi features the findings of a survey conducted by the Harris Poll in November of last year, encompassing 2,502 adults aged 18 plus who had streamed at least 1 hour of content that week. 79% of respondents say they expect no ads if they pay for a streaming service, while 81% say watching ads is a fair trade-off to access free content on streaming services. The average respondent is spending $129 a month on streaming services and paid TV subscriptions, a 7.5% increase year over year, with 56% of respondents actively monitoring their streaming services so as not to overspend. Next up, dedicated podcast tab available more widely on YouTube for Android TV. Recently, Android TV apps received a dedicated podcast sidebar option in the YouTube app, a simple but important update in a time when YouTube has highlighted the growing trend of video podcasting becoming big screen experiences. The biggest platform for video podcast discovery, having a dedicated button in the main UI for accessing podcasts instead of accidentally stumbling into episodes in recommended or subscriptions, encourages viewers actively seeking out podcasts for the sake of consuming podcasts, instead of them being simply a subgenre of video in general. For our last top story, Data builds the House of Insights. This is from Paul Riismandel at Signal Hill Insights, a look at the difference between data and insights and how they work together. While data can be useful on its own, not all of it is created equal and requires nuance to understand. Riismandel gives an example of a national brand debuting new messaging in a digital audio campaign that, at first, appeared to simply perform not as well in podcasting because they're not a good fit. Signal Hill Insights dug into the specifics and discovered the creative being used was not designed for podcasting and thus had a tone and style that did not fit the shows it was being placed in. With that combination of data and insight, the brand remade the creative for the following quarter and saw greater ROI in podcasting, something that wouldn't have happened if the plain data-based conclusion had led to them simply cutting podcast ad spend. As for the rest of the news, 3 new podcasts are joining the Radiotopia from PRX Network, including Mike Rignetta's Never Post, Proxy with Yahweh Shah, and Mitra Kaboli-hosted Selects from Runetone. In addition, Rishikesh Hirway is launching a new series this spring titled Key Change. RSS.com has built an infographic charting the most searched celebrity-hosted podcasts for each U.S. state, as well as a similar chart for athlete-hosted series. By the way, Smartless and Club Shay Shay top each respective chart. Headliner has announced an update to their Eddy editing suite to add automated transcription as well as using that transcript to generate context-aware promo assets. And True Crime Network Law and Crime has announced their first new podcast of the year is Luigi, all caps, a Wondery Plus exclusive series covering the trial of alleged murderer Luigi Mangione. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The download is written and produced by Newton Shadokati, Brian Barletta, myself, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.